Greetings, folks, and and welcome to some random bit of video stuff. No, welcome to. I don't know what to call this. I guess it's because it's not a launch party. I guess it's a relaunch party. Because what I'm here to talk to you about tonight, as well as just the series in a whole, is Burning Reflection, which was my first ever solo release. Now, this, as you can see, it was in the funky mini bag. What's a mini bag? I don't know. Mini book style, which is really cool. And I do like this style. But the problem is, because it's part of an ongoing series, it simply doesn't fit. You see, this is the whole ethos behind this, is because it's part of an ongoing series. So now this is what it looks like now. Yeah, we've got a new relaunch on it. So yeah, that's basically what I'm celebrating here today, is the relaunch of Burning Reflection, which, to those of you who are unaware of it, is the first book in what is become known as the Hollowhills cycle. Now, the second book is already out, Boiling Shadow, the novella, that's already out. Now, but there's going to be at least another 2 books. So yeah, I can announce that now. There's a full big old novella like that one. This is basically a couple of thousand words off a novel, which is like the 3rd in the central trilogy. Now, there's another short story already out, which was the first Hollowhills story that I wrote. I'm going to tell you about that a bit more on the moment. That's in my short story collection, The Pseudopod That Rocks the Cradle. Yeah, the central trilogy of the Hollowhills cycle is going to be Burning Reflection, Boiling Shadow, and one will be coming out next, which is called Blasted Soul. Now, there's also going to be another book after that, which is because right. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I wrote the first story in the Hollowhills cycle, which is the story The Hollowhills, it was basically a one and done. And it was my homage to Arthur Machen, that kind of things living in the hills. And because my milieu is Cornwall, I also wanted to do like something about the Beast of Bodmin. So that story encapsulates both of those things. So it's Arthur Machen and the Beast of Bodmin. Now that's set present day-ish. And when I was looking, I kind of fell in love with the idea of Hollowhills, this isolated mining town that's sort of, to use the sort of the buzzword, it's a liminal space, a place where the walls between realities are thin. So there's things dwelling, and it's one of those places where, like Arkham and things like that. It's a place where the veil is thin. So things from beyond can get in. And I kind of fell in love with the place. And I was looking for, I wanted to do a proper Gothic horror, but I'd become interested at the same time in numerology and mirror hours and all that. It was one of those internet rabbit holes that I'd gone down when researching something else. I'd gone off on a tangent. So I wanted to do that. And I wanted to do something about fire, and that is what brought this into being. Now, the guest house, which features in that story, The Hollowhills, obviously it's a long time after this, because this is very late Victorian. It's like I can't remember, 1 or 2 years before Queen Victoria died. It's literally on the cusp. But that house in that guest house, the bed and breakfast, is Conley House. So that's how it kind of tied in. And while I was writing this, I kind of thought, well, this is interesting now, because I've got this. It's like a mythos I'm bolted onto the side of my mythos, if you know what I mean. It's like its own separate entity. And this book was also a homage to somebody who I think gets a bad rap in mythos circles in terms of his creations, and that is August Derleth, the founder of Arkham House and the man who basically gave Lovecraft to the masses. You know, he collected a lot of the stuff. We may have lost a lot of it if Derleth hadn't have published it. But I'm a fan of some of his actual work. I mean, it's not perfect, but he has some great ideas. And one of those ideas I used in this. So that was kind of where I went with that. And it's a very sort of gothic piece, I guess it's safe to say. Now, with the sequel, with the follow-up, I wanted it to be both standalone and connected. So this takes place before, during, and after this. This takes place all in one night. I'm showing you the old copy of it here. I should be waving the new one. See, there we go. We got the new one. We should be waving this at you. Because look, they match. Hey, this is the old version. It should say Hollowhills cycle on it now, but this is the older one. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So this is set. Burning Reflection is set during this. So it's both a prequel and a sequel, but also standalone. It's a self-contained story. There's crossover characters and events crossover, but they're both self-contained narratives that add up to a bigger piece. Now, the third is... Oh, no, before I get into that, this one was more of a overtly Lovecraftian piece. So if my influences in that one was Derleth, this one is more Lovecraft. Now, the third one that'll be coming out, which is called Blasted Soul, is more of a Clark Ashton Smith piece. There's also elements of M.R. James in there as well, and there's Mackin in all of it, because just by its nature, there's Mackin in it. In fact, there's a lot of Mackin in the third one, and the fourth one is incredibly Mackin. So that's kind of where the Hollowhills cycle has gone. I mean, the fourth one came because I was writing the third one, and I had to get it to a certain length for a novella release. So I had to get it to under a certain length, and I was writing it, and there was a character in that I thought his story would be really interesting to tell. And I just didn't have time. I just simply didn't have time to tell that story. And also to tell it properly, I needed to give it time to breathe. So it needed to take place over a period of time. And obviously I couldn't do that within the confines of this. So it flowed off into its own thing. And as luck would have it, I had a short story that I'd written a while ago, a Hollowhills short story that was set later that I hadn't done anything with. It was just sitting there. And the two kind of dovetailed. It was like that one of those weird moments of serendipity. I thought, well, if I put this into that, and then... So, yeah, I've got another novella out of that. It was an accidental novella. But my plan is to bring it up to the present day, so it all dovetails with the story The Hollowhills, which is in The Pseudopod the Rogue's Cradle and Burning Reflection. That's the start, that's the end. So I've got an idea for one set during the 60s, and I've got an idea for another one set during the 70s as well. So there might end up being another couple of books at least, but that's a pie in the sky. That's all pie in the sky for now. All you need to know for now is that the first book has just been re-released and is now available in this beautiful edition. It's a beautiful edition, and it's even more beautiful than it would have been because they're the same size. There's nothing more annoying, right, than when you get a collection and one book's this tall and one book's that tall and one book's that tall. It drives me insane. So yeah, that's the whole reason for the relaunch, pretty much. Yeah. If anybody has any questions, get them down. And I will answer them. Yeah, it's been out for a while now, and but it had an incredibly warm reception. No pun intended. I've just realised that. It went down really well, which which blew me away, to be honest. Yeah, everybody who's read it really enjoyed it. So it's nice to sort of get it out there in a different format. And yeah, this is out as well, which is the sequel, which came out. I can't remember what it was, earlier this year or late last year, one or the other. Time is an illusion to me these days. It's I'm mucking about with radio shows and God knows what else. I don't know what day it is half the time. Excellent. Yes, there will be there are links underneath this here video. I put them in the comments, so if you want to go off and grab yourself something, you can do. I am Elite. Yeah, cheers for tuning in. Oh yeah, yeah. Cheers, Dawn. Yeah. Tentacle, fantastic. Oh yeah, my banner. It had to be done. I had it made up for conventions, and I thought, well, what else could I have on it for me? It's got to have some old tentacles, isn't it? You know. Hi there. Yeah. So, just to basically recap, is the first in the series, in the cycle. I didn't want to call it a trilogy and do what fantasy people do and have a trilogy of 8 books. So it's part of a cycle, and it's the first book in the cycle. It's just been re-released. It's now in a standard paperback format, because it used to be in one of these. Now, here we go. I do have some of these knocking about. Now, these aren't going to be available anymore. So these are future collector's items. So I'm going to be selling them on the cheap. So if anybody wants a signed copy of these, I'll probably knock them out about £5, including postage in the UK. Yeah, get in contact with me if you want a copy. Like I say, these are future collector's items, because these will not be available anymore. Yeah, which is cool, because then my bookshelf will all look nice. It's ridiculous, I know, but I get but it was one of those things. It's like, you know, you're looking at it, and the rest of the collection is all one level, and the other one's like that. What can you do? What can you do? Luckily, the publisher understood. Yeah, as always, Ron and Deidre at Madison have been great sorting this out, especially at the minute, because Amazon have been having, yeah. Let's just say that there's been some issues with publishing on Amazon at the moment. Yeah, I know a few publishers who are having real difficulties. So yeah, they managed to get it sorted, because there was a couple of it came out slightly later than it was expected because of Amazon. But anyway, we can forget all that. Yeah, so that's pretty much. Oh, yeah, just check for any questions. And we have one here from Dawn. She asks, would I be thinking of a Nookie book 2? Now, I can't say anything official, but it has been talked about. So, yeah, it's safe to say it's going to happen. Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. Right. Guy asks, he doesn't know anything yet about the cycle. How does the Hollowhills abandoned mining area tie into the Gothic house? Now, you see, it's an abandoned mining area in the later one. It's still an active mine at the time that this happens. And because of its nature, there's shafts running under the houses and all that kind of stuff. Now, the mine doesn't feature that much in this one or this one, but the mine is the main focus of the third book. And it's more about what comes from the mine than the mine itself, if you know what I mean. I can't really say much more than that without going into spoiler territory. But yeah, great question. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's like I say, I can't really say much more than that. But yeah, it's a small village. It's a mining community, and there's obviously bigger houses of the people The family in this one, the main character's grandfather is the owner of the mine, and yeah, and it features like the village doctor and all that kind of stuff, and yeah. But I can't really go into much detail about one thing without stealing another. That's the problem when you've got like things that are all tied in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And basically, there's lots of different Lovecraftian entities. Yeah, yeah. Again, I can't really say anything. All right, you learn from reading tasty treats that yes, we do. Cotton candy floss. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, and how it was made. Yeah. One of my more disgusting stories, that one, I believe. Yeah, that's in my second collection, my one that just came out, Visions and Abominations. Yeah. Cool. If anybody's got any more questions, if not, I will start to wrap this up. Yeah. Thanks for your questions. Thanks, Guy. I'm sorry I can't go into more specifics without spoiling anything. I feel like that was a rubbish answer, but but yeah, the mine is basically the whole reason for this village being there, and yeah, it's one of them old mining communities. You know, people are born there, raised there, die there, kind of thing. And yeah. Good. I'm glad it was. I'm glad it wasn't just pointless waffle. Thanks, man. Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. And like I say, these are all available now, and I will come back with more information when I have. I don't have a release date for Blasted Soul yet, but when I do, I'm sure I assure you I will share it with you all. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon. He says, not being able to find the end broadcast button. Good night.